Follow presented by DraftKings. I'm Roz Goldenwood. That's my girl, Logan Hackett. Logan, how you doing?
I'm amazing. Honestly, we have a heat wave right now, and it is the best thing ever. I love the heat, but how are you doing?
I'm good. We're having a heat wave in New York, and everybody's hiding from it. You in Canada, I guess you guys are just like embracing it, soaking it in.
Absolutely. Yep. Much needed before winter.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got some heat coming to the show. We got a special guest of Meadowlark Media family, friend to the show, our guy, WNBA fan and commentator, Juju Gotti is coming to the show. What up, Juju?
What up, y'all? I don't know how special of a guest I am, but hey, I am a guest and I'm happy to be here. You feel me?
Anytime that you come to our show, it is a special time for all of us. In fact, the streets were talking. I heard you were out there at WNBA All-Star Weekend. Someone said you made the StudBudz stream. I'm screaming. You were that outside?
Yeah, I mean, I was outside. I was outdoors during the Indianapolis. Felt like, I don't know, the MIAO, Las Vegas. The ladies came to that city and shut it down. Salute to the stream. Dubs in the chat.
Dubs in the chat.
Yo, we got dubs in the chat as well because we've got a very fun one. We got a fun show for you. And you know we like to go through our little rundown. Juju's on the show, even though he's got a Chicago Sky fit on. This is an Atlanta Dream fan and man. So we're going to talk about the Dream. Are they a dark horse to make a deep run in the playoffs? And how about the StudBudz? We talked about them. Listen. First they love you, then they hate you. How do the StudBudz stay authentic with all of this attention? And then we have been reintroduced to the WNBA versus NBA player debate. Can one beat the other? We will tap in a little bit with this discussion and the fact that it is still a discussion in the calendar year 2025. But okay, that's the show topics.
And don't forget, y'all can catch new episodes, not once, but twice a week, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday. And as always, thank y'all for all of the love, subscribing, commenting, liking, following our socials, telling your friends about it, and everything else. But are y'all ready to get into the show?
Let's do it.
Alrighty, let's do it. Well, Juju, I'm not gonna lie, I really expected you to come on the show with an Atlanta Dream jersey, especially given how much of a devoted fan you are. The switch up with Chicago kind of threw me off, but
I'm not switching up. I'm just, I support everybody. So today I'm supporting my sister Angel, but here we go. If this makes it feel a little better.
We absolutely
we love that.
Dubs in the chat for everyone.
For everyone. Oh, you got Ryan Howard. Do you have courtside seats to the Atlanta Dream games? Because I see you on the TV games sometimes, and I'll be like, there go Juju courtside.
Every single year. I'm like Jack Nicholson of the Atlanta Dream. I'm always going to be courtside, and I'm always going to be front and center. You dig me?
Ooh, that's an investment because I know them prices is going up.
Exactly. Thank God I had paid my fees before they announced BG was coming this year because them numbers kept going up.
You might be able to write it off as a business expense or something. You might have to have a strategic meeting around every game just to make it make sense. Because I heard the prices are up all over around the league. But you know what? We love to see it.
We love to see it.
Come on. The ladies are where the money resides. Or trying to be. No, it's very serious CBA times.
Oh, exactly. Y'all actually had a big weekend, though, and you handed the Minnesota Lynx their first home loss of the regular season. Huge. In that game, we saw BG put up 22 points. Jordan Canada had 18. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough and Alicia Gray both had 12 points. But with that, the Dream now sit fourth in the league and have a 15-10 record. They are looking incredibly good. But Juju, my question to you is, are the Dream a dark horse to win the chip this year?
You damn right they a dark horse to win the chip because they did that without my sister Ryan Howard. You feel me? Like they did that with Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season. I think Naz Hillman, I think she should be a dark horse for 6 person of the year. I'm not sure if we can do that, or most improved person of the year, because she provides us the spark that we need, whether it's subbing in for Big Bree Jones, whether it's subbing in for BG, or whether it's subbing in for Ryan. She's been that Swiss Army knife, switchblade, whatever they call it. Nas Hillman. They should put Nas Hillman face on one of them because she's doing it. I definitely think, bruh, if BG gonna give us that effort, I feel like with the Unrivaled League and everything, people were kind of slow trotting into the season. If we get this BG in the playoffs, sky's the limit, baby.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to piggyback on the Nas Hillman love because I love the energy she brings for this team. She's very much like an X factor that is very dependable, though.
Yeah.
And if you talk to anybody on that team, they'll talk about her being one of the vocal leaders of that team. She is someone that speaks up, that is consistent, that people listen to her. And that's a big statement. A lot of times, sometimes people feel that kind of leadership comes from the outright stars of the team, but some of them are a little bit more reserved, and like Nas really steps up in that way. So I'm very much big on her. Big on even with the injuries. Shout out to Maya Caldwell, who has had to step up, start with Ryan Howard out. She's looked good. Remember when Jordan Canada was out, Tahina Pau got valuable minutes, was able to knock down big threes. Like, I think this team could be spicy because of that depth, getting experience. And then when they're healthy, you've got a team that is an inside-out threat. Brianna Jones was an all-star snub. She was one of the ones that you could have made an argument for. BG looked like making great decisions out of doubles, finishing in the paint. She even hit a three. So like, they are big. They can certainly be physical, but they also got guards. Ryan Howard when healthy, Alicia Gray that can shoot the three, create their own shot, make it rain from the 3-point line. And the other thing
Neighborhood Canada too. Like, people forget Neighborhood Canada from LA. Oh. She is a dog. She is one of the big roofers.
I'm on a rant. I was getting to Jordan.
My bad.
That's
my bad. I interrupted you. Pardon me.
Bring it. I like the enthusiasm. Make sure we mention Jordan Canada, but we love Jordan. Like, I think that Jordan is a very capable scorer, but also we know has been over the course of years in this league, someone who's got to be talked about as one of the most defensive, pesky guards out there. So when you have Jordan up in your shorts full court, or you have Ryan Howard who's going to defend the other team's best player, and Alicia Gray's no slouch on defense either. Like, they've got a really nice defensive squad, and behind you got BG waiting in the paint, Bree's in there, Bree Jones. Like, so I think there's a lot of ingredients. I'm not ready to call them a championship contender, but I think they could make a deep playoff run, and if healthy, we'll see. I
mean, they hated on Jesus, so what can we say?
I am keen to see if they can continue this play when Ryan comes back too, or if it's just kind of like in the transfer and allowing other players to come in and get time. But I guess we'll see what ends up happening, because that top three right now is pretty stacked, even include them in the four. And I feel like we won't see a ton of movement, but I want to move on to the StudBudz because they are another huge topic. As we saw, they were outside during All-Star Weekend, everywhere, making headlines. Their 72-hour stream literally skyrocketed them. However, they are starting to get into some controversy, honestly, as ones who skyrocket that fast do. But it's because of their connection to Barstool Sports owner Dave Portnoy. He made a video talking about how much he loved them and pretty much saying, I would deny the biggest streamers stream, but StudBudz, I want to get on. And then they came back and they're like, let's have you on. I guess not realizing how much of a problem it would be. And with that, they said, like, we want to be open to having everyone. We want to give them the time and space. And a lot of people didn't like that. But given the backlash, how do they stay authentic with how they're building their platform right now?
Yeah. And see, that's where we get into why I wore this specific shirt today. Because Dave Portnoy, like, I understand that in the NBA, I'm allowed to dislike James Harden. I'm allowed to dislike the Celtics. And with the WNBA, it's been a bit more taboo when it comes to just like, okay, sharing your disdain for a player. But I feel like Dave Portnoy, he goes a little bit too far when it comes to Angel. Like, I understand he's a big Caitlin Clark fan, but some of the stuff he said and some of the stuff he's tweeted out are a little bit below the belt to me, in my opinion, when it comes to Angel, a young sister that's growing up in front of our eyes. She gets judged at such a high clip from him that I feel like I understand the StudBudz having him on, but at the same time, I would have held his feet a little bit more closer to the fire when defending one of our sisters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And I find a lot of what he's said and what he pushes to be awful, and I'm not a fan of the way that many things, but certainly how he's addressed Angel Reese, seemingly in a lot of like non-basketball ways too.
Yeah.
But the question that has come up is, well, should they allow their platform to, showcase him? And I think it's a really hard and good question. I do think it should be left up to the interviewer. Here's my main thing, because Juju, you and I are on the same page with that. But here's where I have found myself disrupted or shaken up by the way this conversation around StudBudz has gone. It's like, it's with people trying to cancel them over this.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. First of all, how can you go within a few days of saying like, these two, players, these women here are awesome. They're doing something cool that we haven't seen before. This is great. I'm going to support it. And then in a couple of days be like, no, that's over. So much for that. I'm canceling that. Like, do you realize how destructive that mindset is? How punitive it is that you would want to police their opportunities in that way? And today I actually saw something come down my timeline. Courtney was talking to her dad. It was just a clip. But Courtney Williams was talking to her dad, and she was like how so many people were insulting them, saying they weren't smart enough to navigate, to have this conversation with Portnoy. And so I gave it thought. I was like, first of all, this conversation is high risk, full stop.
Yeah.
But it's also high reward. I would like to hope that whoever's on their team or themselves would try to help prepare themselves to step into this moment, not just come into it and wing it. But at the same time, understand that an interview with the StudBudz is not going to be the same thing as an interview with Gayle King. And like, that's okay. I think that's the whole point, right? Like, that it is different. And they said they were going to hold him accountable. And here we are possibly with a cross-examination of this man that we may not otherwise get anywhere else. In fact, he has said that. So I think there is something unique and interesting about it. But I still think like the culture of canceling and trying to take away their opportunity to make a decision about the agency, about their path, which will come with lessons and learnings and wins and mistakes with it coming that fast and that big. Like, I found that disappointing. I didn't like that angle of the discussion.
Especially if you add on the goof that is Bob Griffin III. I'm not calling him RG3 no more. You don't get a cool nickname. Bob Griffin. Like, I don't so I do agree. It's like it's a tricky line to toe, but like you say, bro, we talking about the StudBudz, man. We're not talking about Fox Channel 5 with noon with whoever the hell is hosting CNN at nighttime.
And that's the point too. Like, I certainly can't name who's doing BBC interviews, but I know StudBudz. So you talking to a different audience right now.
Courtney and her dad, they will always have a special place in my heart, because I'm from a small place called Waycross, Georgia, down the road from where they grew up in Folkestone, Georgia. So she's a hero for me. Like, she coming out of that small little town, making it happen, she can do no wrong when it comes to me. So I'm gonna have way more patience with her than expected. But people, they love to build you up just to tear you down. That's just how folks do. And so I understand it, but I don't approve of any StudBudz slander. It hard stop over here.
Yeah, and I love hearing you say like, oh, it means a lot to me to see Courtney Williams, to see StudBudz shinings. I relate to where they're from and to see what they're doing right now. For me, it's just so cool to see where the WNBA like is right now and where it's come from. There was a past where the WNBA was promoting, the married girls and didn't really lean into homosexuality, lesbians, anything like that. You know, even just a couple of months ago, you know, remember the Skims campaign? Was that a couple months ago or was that a year ago?
Yeah,
I
it was
can't
like
even
last
remember.
year.
It was like last year. This is recently, where it was all of the hot girls of the WNBA got to be part of the Skims campaign. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was super cool. It was a dope ass campaign, but there was commentary like, what about the poppies? Like, there wasn't full representation of all the types of people and women that exist in the WNBA. And like, here is StudBudz, where you've essentially centered and giving all the attention to these two small, petite, short-haired, Black lesbian studs, and like they're being featured as captivating and fascinating and cool and like game changing. And like, I actually think this is where stickiness happens. This is where like fandom happens. You know how interesting you got to be to keep people tuning in for 72 hours straight on a stream? Like, this is where we transcend. And we did. Suddenly the W's in conversations with Diplo and so-and-so and this and that. And like, it was on Shade Room. Maybe WNBA All-Star doesn't make, you know, all of these different blogs just because of the 3-point contest, but they do now because of this. And this is where transcendence happens. So I just feel like what a long way we've come. And like, stop trying to like police lightning in a bottle or like put it in your box, because the reason why it's special is that it already sits outside of a box that we know.
Right. And what make it even better, Courtney Kane's fresh off of StudBudz, balling. She been balling lately. The season started back. Bag, Birkin, right there. So yeah, salute.
Coming up, Juju sticks around and talks about the WNBA versus NBA player debate that's going around the internet. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Follow. Today's show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Logan, what we got next? What we talking about?
Well, all of this just kind of goes to show that the internet is an insane place. But there was another thing that came up on our feeds either today or yesterday. I'm not too sure if y'all have seen it, but there's a clip going around of Shannon Sharp asking Flau'jae if a WNBA player can beat an NBA player. Let's take a look.
I don't know what A'ja Wilson was on, and they were asking her, could she beat an NBA player? I think it was Josh Hart, and she said she could beat. Do you believe that a WNBA player could beat an NBA player?
Bro, I was just talking about this. I just don't, it's not physically possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could barely grab rim, you over the backboard. Like, I'm not about to play you. Like, but like, no, an NBA player, like, no.
Yeah, well, the video includes a caption, and this makes it so much worse, saying, A'ja Wilson is wrong, ! WNBA players can't beat NBA players. So rightfully so, Flau'jae took to Twitter because she was very upset with this and said, quote, this is what y'all mad about, bro, my opinion. I never spoke on the GOAT A'ja, I just gave my opinion. Y'all just want a reason to hate me at this point. Man, I'm so over it. So what are y'all's thoughts on this whole situation?
I mean, look, man, I love my WNBA sisters. I think they are heroes. They should have their own shirts, FDNY, whenever they're heroes to me like that. Now, it's like, who are we putting in these matchups? Are we putting Napheesa Collier versus Jonathan Kuminga? Because are we putting A'ja versus
all, I don't even
Bam?
know what that matchup. Jonathan Kuminga is a very nice, athletic, great player.
That's what I'm saying.
In the NBA.
I find it hard to find an NBA player who I would be like, you know what? Yes, you would lose to Napheesa Collier. You would lose to A'ja Wilson. Respectfully, it's just a whole different genetic makeup in those paint. It's unfair. This is an unfair question to pose. Bam versus A'ja. Put it this way. If there was someone in a life-threatening situation with me and they said you either live or you do not live, I'm taking the NBA player in most instances. I'm so sorry, and I love the
like
WNBA.
If it's life and death on the line, You going with it?
I'm going with the
going
NBA
with-
player. I don't.
Understood.
It really doesn't matter which one it is because it's so hard to make it to the WNBA, but it's hard to make it to the NBA as well. I don't think Flau'jae should take the scrutiny though.
That's actually, I agree. Like, that's actually, now that is a dynamic question. Is it
Yeah.
harder to make the WNBA with 13 teams, or let me just say 12 teams and 144 spots? I know we've added an extra team, but I can't do the math fast
Yeah.
enough. But 13 teams and 100,
53?
thank you.
No, 55.
You understand the point we're trying to
Yeah,
make. Is
right.
it harder to make the W? Also, with no real G League implemented, there's a couple of alternative leagues, but we don't have that. Or is it harder to make the NBA? Now, that's an interesting question.
There we go.
But for me, the question, like, can a WNBA player beat an NBA player? I was just like, ugh, like, oh my God, why is this a topic? And like, what's
Right.
crazy is it got quite a bit of conversation on the internet. People love dumb things, but for me, it was such a gotcha question. First of all, that a
Yeah.
grown man is doing to a college kid,
Come
and
on,
like it was set up so like Flau'jae would, be in a position where she could say clickbait like, oh yeah, WNBA players could be NBA players. But our girl, first of all, Flau'jae is way too smart for that, and she did not take the bait. Flau'jae is very smart, so she answered that in the best way that she could. But it was a setup question, and I also
Yeah.
feel like what a lousy way of using time with a woman, as a young lady as dynamic as Flau'jae, to like, this is one of the ways that we wanted to use interview time. And for me, like, women playing ball is not about women's ability to beat men. It's about women's ability to beat other women.
Right.
And like, I think we should let women's hoop be women's hoop and men's hoop be men's hoop. And like, once we can do that, I think it'll be better for us overall. And like, also our ability to just appreciate the game that we're watching. Like, it
Yeah.
should not be a comparison. The games are very different. When I was in college, we had practice players who were guys. We were more skilled. We were more talented. We had more basketball IQ, but they were there to practice against us because they were faster. They could jump higher. Like, they were stronger. And that's just what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I do think girls are getting more athletic and stronger these days, but I just remain, let women's hoop be women's hoop, let men's hoop be men's hoop, and just stop baiting each other into these clickbait combos.
Right. And like you say, I think it's more so on Uncle Shannon, bruh. Like, big bruh, we understand. Thank you for finally showing some attention to the women's game. But at the same time, when you show attention, you got to wipe your feet at the door and keep the questions at least on some realm of like respectability. You like you said, it was either pit her against Asia or get the clickbait where she say we can beat an NBA player. That ain't how we supposed to be doing these interviews, man. And like I said a couple episodes ago on the Good Follow show, if you can't name me 3 Connecticut Sun, bit, bruh, you need to pipe it down. Back to you.
Screaming.
Honestly, both of y'all had great points. Really nothing to add, but Juju, not gonna lie, you talking about who's going up against who, my only thought for some reason was like Hailey Van Lith going up against Wemby. And that really kind of sealed the deal for me.
What kind of thought was
Wait. So
You said
who
who's
wins
going-
that?
You can just go, well, Hailey is, I don't know, maybe
mean-
5'6", and Wemby is 7'6". Like,
Right.
that's 2 feet right
Oh,
there.
okay, I get it.
She'll be
That
going
is
through her,
so
his
out of this
legs.
world.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like, I feel like that was just the whole basis of the conversation that Shannon Sharp tried to have. But y'all, I fear we might be out of time.
Yes, but I do listen, for those watching and listening at home, if you have a matchup where you think the WNBA player would come out victorious, yo, comment that. Comment
Right.
that. If I believe that this is a real thing, it will be brought up on the next show for real. Bring it up. I want y'all to really rack your brains on this, and this because it's no shade to the women or the men. It's just bring it up. And I see Juju got his Atlanta Dream back on. He shapeshifts throughout the show. I don't know whoever he might be. So I want to thank Ryan Howard for being our guest on the show. Juju,
Happy to join.
Gotti.
Happy to join.
Logan, you're the best as always. All of you who are listening, who are downloading, who are watching, who are subscribing, liking, commenting, engaging, sharing, all the things, we appreciate you. Good Follow Show is presented by DraftKings. We happen 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for hanging with us.
Bye, y'all.